Nadal doesn't hit a good volley. Alund, though, his foot movement is very, very lax. Sort of runs right through that ball. Right now, the Argentine playing with little confidence, and Nadal just really having his way. And that's how you construct points on clay. You just wait and wait till you get the short ball, and then you use your weapon. Nadal able to hit that forehand equally as well, whether it's inside out or up the line. Can do whatever he wants, even cross court.
Yeah, it's been easy pickings for Rafa.
This is like amazing, and everything he's doing is working to perfection, getting a lot of short balls, keeping depth, and then when he gets the short one, boom.
And it was an overwhelming opening set. 28 minutes. Rafael Nadal scores 6-love knockout in set number 1 as he seeks the quarterfinals in Acapulco. The 2 seed out in front.
Well, so far it's been a little bit of a walk in the park for the number 2 seed. I don't think he'd like hearing that, number 2 seed.
Yeah. Well, you have to get used to it. There's no doubt about it. In fact, it's going to take a miracle to be able to catch Federer anytime soon anyway, in a position where he's going to be below him at a clay court event such as this. 2 seed, always going to be sort of at the bottom half. He's not going to have that top ranking for any time soon. It may not ever come back. He's lucky to be getting back amongst the top 4 because so many ranking points are at stake through the clay court season of 2013. But the number is really overwhelming. Although never able to find any rhythm. Broken all 3 times he stepped up, and you can understand it's just a whole lot of presence coming back across the net on a big stage where Alund has never really been before.
No.
Been the number 1 ranked player in the world. Now he's fallen out of what is the top 4. He's never been outside of the top 5 since he ascended into the top 10 back in 2005 when he had that banner year. Went from number 51 in the world at the start of 2005 to number 2 at the end. Rafa Nadal.
And really, for my money and probably lots and lots of others, the best clay court player that this game has ever had. I mean, the match that everyone wants to see that we'll never get to see is Nadal against Borg. 2 guys that rarely lost ever a match on a clay court. But that's what makes sports great. That's part of the schmooze, part of the talk. Right now, though, for this man, it's all about adjustments. What can he do to compete in this match? He's gotten bageled in the opening set. He was blown out. Nadal was pretty much controlling each and every point, moving him around side to side, constructing the points beautifully. And for Alund, I don't know if he has the tools or the equipment to actually compete in this match.
Yeah, well, with his CV, resume, however you want to put it, he doesn't have a lot of experience, let alone against top 5 player, against the greatest player on this surface on a stage of this magnitude. He's never been in this situation or faced this type of opponent.
But here's what I would tell him if I were coaching him. Why don't you just forget the way you typically play, because that's not going to work tonight if you want to win the match. Now, if you're looking to keep the score close, well, then maybe you can play for a score. But really, you got to play with reckless abandon. Go out there, say the heck with it, take your chances, and if you fall miserably, you fall miserably. But at least give yourself some kind of chance, because just to play a standard conventional match against Nadal, we saw what happened in the first set. Bagel with cream cheese and a lot of locks.
You're just baiting me to say he's got a lock on the quarterfinal. Rafa has returned from the restroom, comfort break, and now time to get back to the business end, and that is try to get off the court as quickly as possible, spare the legs any extra effort. and find his way towards some recovery before the quarterfinals tomorrow night. Martin Alund enjoying a career high ranking, number 91 in the world, serving to begin set number 2, looking to get on the board for the first time.
That's brutal. Nadal taking and absorbing everything that Alund threw at him on that point, and then turned it around. He went from defense to offense. That was vintage Nadal. You just feel for Alund right now. He's figuring, what the heck do I have to do to win a point? And he really doesn't possess it. And it begins with the serve, Kevin. You know, from the serve, he's already almost behind the 8 ball when Nadal gets a look at a second ball.
Alund began playing challengers, or excuse me, futures back in 2001. Spent the better part of the next 6 years trying to find a way to elevate his ranking, get into a couple challenger events, turned professional in 2004. Has been able to get to 3 challenger finals over the course of his career. But to once again show the discrepancy in talent between these two, hasn't been able to win any of those challenger finals.
You think you ever played anybody quite as good as Nadal in any of those challenger finals?
I would doubt that. 2008 in Cancun, twice in 2012 in Milan and San Juan.
And Nadal wasn't playing those matches in those finals. Well,
unable to qualify for the Australian Open, did get into the first round in Viña del Mar. That was his first ATP World Tour match. Lost that one. Sao Paulo qualified and then had a really nice run, which has helped propel him to be inside the top 100. In Viña del Mar, he had the biggest win of his career, did Martin Alund. He got past world number 25, Jeremy Chardy. Beat Philippe Valandry before facing Nadal. And took a set off him. Buenos Aires dumped out in the opening round. And with his victory in the first round here, that accounts for his 4-3 career record in ATP World Tour matches. Competitive opening game to set number 2.
Yeah, he's going for a little bit more. Well, he's going to probably make more errors if he tries to become a little bit more aggressive. But you know what? That's what he has to do. He has to say the heck with it. Throw caution to the wind and just let it go. Free Willy. And if he makes some mistakes, well, at least he's going about it the right way. There you go.
Was that Free Willy?
That's Free and Willy. Willy's out in the ocean right now. And we don't want to get Willy confused with Kevin Skinner.
I don't even know what that means. Alund trying to get on the board for the first time. Back to deuce.
Well done.
Alund.
It's on the board.
Not quite the welcome Rafa got walking on the court, but you know they appreciate the fact the underdog. It's just so overwhelming as that first set went that just to get French fry on the board has to feel good.
Yeah, no, I like the way he played the game. He did make some unforced errors, but each time he had a chance to step in and drive the ball, he did. And that's the only way he's going to make this thing competitive at all. He cannot think that just by playing defense it's going to work, because it won't. He's got to be able to push Nadal around the court, and if he can't, at least he's got to make certain inroads to trying to do that.
Rafa taking his time on the changeover, once again arranging the bottles according to positioning of the labels before he heads back to try to level the set. This is the third of 11 ATP World Tour 500 events that are held in the calendar year. Of course, Dubai has a tournament going on simultaneously. Their final 8 is set, including defending champion Roger Federer, who seeks a 6th title there.
But that's an event that Nadal played for year upon year.
But obviously hard courts, wanting to stay away from those as much as possible, perhaps maybe forever.
So many of those years you talk about Federer winning, he played Nadal in the final. Wow. You think he heard me? He's playing a lot differently. He's just saying the heck with it, and why not?
Why not?
You hit a few shots like that, you get some confidence. The reality is, whether you lose a set 7-5 or 6-love, it really doesn't matter. I mean, people say, well, you know, you're getting blown out, but the reality is sometimes you give your opponent a little bit of a false sense of security. They win 6-love, they think, well, how am I going to do that again? And if you're Alund, you know you can't play any worse than that.
Yeah, but I beg to differ just slightly in that if you're getting completely demoralized because you can't do anything and produce 7-5, at least you were close. You had a moment. So at least you know you're in there.
Still
There's a
lose
competitive.
a set.
But you're talking about the mental. Oh, ridiculous.
I'm serious. No, I think I've seen a bunch of guys come back from 6-love sets to win matches.
Oh, without question. It can happen, but it's different stance to be on mentally to prepare. Now,
Absolutely.
what I did say you scoffed at was the idea that it might take a set for him to be able to find his ability and his timing. And now he's swinging a little more freely.
Absolutely.
The shoulders are opening.
He's doing better than I thought he would in this set, no doubt.